everybody, this is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Stardew Valley. So my last episode we finished up with the fair, finally. And in this particular episode, we are going to head off to one of the special areas of the game, as we have a storm approaching, which means we won't have to actually water tomorrow. Not that we have to do much watering. I think I'll actually make a priority to create enough sprinklers to finish off my field so that I don't have to do any watering anymore. But it tells us a little bit about winter coming up. Now, we're not going to be doing too much with winter. We don't have to worry about hay because we don't have any animals. And we don't have to feed our dog, which is good. And then we had the fairy come last night, so we'll have to pick up those crops in a little bit. But in this particular episode, I do want to prioritize heading finally into the Skull Cavern, which we gained the Skull Key for. So that will be something we're going to spend some time with. In the meantime, though, we're going to talk to our dog. We're going to give him a little bit of water. And then for your moment of mindfulness, I'm going to pick all of these crops over here. And that will be, for this particular episode, how we spend our time, since we don't really have a ton left to do moment of mindfulness with. That has been your moment of mindfulness for this particular episode, as we got some broccoli. Yummy. I do like broccoli. It's probably my favorite vegetable. Don't really like many vegetables, so broccoli is one of the few that I actually do enjoy eating. And so does my daughter. Alright, so we're going to talk to the raccoon over here. It has moved into this stump. So we fixed that stump last time. The raccoon notes it's hungry and it needs something to eat. And you'll notice it needs a smoked bullhead and some muscle. So we are not going to be doing this particular quest line because we do not have the items necessary to do it. It requires specialty items like the smoker, and we do not have access to those. Alright, and we have to find Marnie today because it is her birthday. And so we do have to give her a piece of coral, as is the norm for people on their birthdays. Although Sandy, in my last episode, got a special gift of a coconut, I believe. So Marnie, you're going to get the standard item, and now you are up to 6 hearts. So that's pretty good. And now we're getting the special scene at night here with Marnie and Mayor Lewis. So basically, they have, if you are not aware, been having a relationship with each other, as evidenced by his purple shorts being in her room. And she kind of wants to let everyone know that they're together, and he doesn't because he feels it will be some sort of a scandal. So they have to keep them a secret, even though they talk all the time, and it's really not that much of a secret. But per usual, we're going to sneak up on him here. And we're going to overhear everything, of course, and we're going to tell everybody, unless you give us a tax break or do something nice for Joja. No, I'll keep the secret, as long as you treat me nice. I totally won't use it as blackmail. I would never do such a thing. And Marnie calls us out for the fact that we're always just hanging around. See ya! Don't worry about it. We're just in the bushes all the time. And we actually got another scene here in the bar. And so this is one of Elliot's affection scenes, as Marnie and Mayor Lewis are over there hanging out. So Elliot's coming in here. He's been writing all day, as he's going to tell us. And then he wants to know if we want to have a drink with him. An 8-hour writing session. Jeez. I actually worked on a fantasy novel with one of my friends back in high school. We did a little thing where we were alternating chapters. So we would each write a chapter, and then the other one would take over for the next chapter. And you could tell from the way we wrote that he was much more versed in reading fantasy novels versus me. Mine was a lot more literal compared to his, which had a lot more flowery language. So what should we propose our toast to? To your doom! Probably to our friendship, I would imagine. That's probably a nice safe response. Here's to us. And we're gonna down our drinks. And then it's going to be pretty powerful. And then we're gonna do some dancing here. And the little animation I'm gonna have is always reminding me of Chrono for the confusion status in the Chrono Trigger game. But all the people left. Where'd they go? I guess they went home. So we're gonna join them at home. I got some Joja wallpaper to take over the room there for the kids. I wasn't able to replace Haley's room with any new wallpaper, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to leave it as her design in there. But tomorrow we're gonna head into the Skull Cavern. Again, one of the special areas of the game. One of the areas you can actually mine iridium. So that'll be necessary for us to actually get what we need to be able to access Ginger Island. And we see the pitter-patter of rain on the outside as things are dark if we look out through the windows. Would that count as talking to my dog? I would imagine. And then we are going to do a couple runs into the Skull Cavern. I'm going to try to prioritize doing a run or two. You do have to get below floor 10 to start seeing iridium kind of on regular. And obviously the deeper you get, the better. As Haley gave us a poppy seed muffin, I believe. Thank you, dear. Hopefully we won't have any drug tests to do today. No, I don't think Joja will be drug testing us. Not after all we've done for them. They'll let us do whatever we want. And we have a bunch of other stuff to pick as well. And Caroline wants a pumpkin for a jack-o'-lantern. Well, we have plenty of pumpkins growing, so that shouldn't be a problem. We'll get one to you for you and Abigail. No problem. We're also looking for a prismatic slime. Maybe we'll find one in the Skull Cavern. I've never found one in the Skull Cavern, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. Alright, so what does the traveling merchant have today? Ooh, a poppy seed muffin. Pretty expensive. We could buy the pumpkin, but we are growing like 100 of them. Some goat cheese. Maple syrup, a fish taco. A lot of stuff here we could use if we hadn't gone the Joja route for the community center. And then, of course, the retro catalog and the Haley portrait. And Mr. Pig. Alright, so we're going to head to the desert here because we want to start checking out the Skull Cavern. So you need the Skull Key in order to be able to access the Skull Cavern. And, of course, to get the Skull Key, you need to get to the bottom of the regular mines. You got to get all the way down to floor 120. And they did add this new thing in a later patch, which allows you to increase the difficulty for the Skull Cavern. So we're going to insert the Skull Key. I think to use that altar over there, you actually have to get access to Ginger Island and start collecting golden walnuts. But I could be wrong. I think that, though, is what is going on. And you'll notice I brought some stuff with us. So some food items to restore health, because the enemies in this area are actually pretty tough in the Skull Cavern. Some of the hardest enemies in the game. We got some bombs as well to make getting through the floors a little easier. And then stones to be able to actually create stairs. Now we're not going to do that today. We'll do that tomorrow when we do a second run of the Skull Cavern. Today we're just going to do a regular run. So it looks pretty much the same, it's just that the rocks are a lot stronger. So it takes, oh man, that sound. Here comes some of the worst enemies. These things are really annoying. They can do a ton of damage to you. And that sound is just one of the worst sounds you can imagine. But similar to the regular mines, you're looking for stairs. There is no set pattern. There is not even a set bottom to the Skull Cave. It goes forever. You can go as deep as you want and as far as you can get in a day. And one of the unique things about the Skull Cavern is that it actually has, in addition to stairs, you can find little warp holes, so to speak. One of the things, again, borrowed from Harvest Moon. In some of the games, like, I believe, Friends of Mineral Town, where you could use the holes to go down many floors at once. And the goal is to get as low as you can. I'll show a couple floors here, and then I'll do more mining myself. Our first goal, though, is to get to floor 25. We can't actually kill that red bug over there. You need to get a ability to be able to do it. It is invincible until we get that ability. But in the meantime, we will continue to mine. This is going to be our area that we're going to spend a lot of time until we find enough iridium to get to Ginger Island. So we get a couple of pretty awesome diamonds here. That's a good amount of money. And I think this is one of the floors that has the stairs automatically at the end. So we'll head to the end, and then I'll do a few more floors. And if I find anything interesting, I will cut back and let you see it. But in the meantime, I will do some more digging, and then I will head back to the house once I get through that. I don't think you can get any coal out of that. Alright, so I got about 8 floors down on that particular run. Got a good amount of stuff. Nothing too special, though. I think I got like 1 piece of iridium. There are iridium slimes, and sometimes when you kill them, they will split. So there's large slimes that will split into smaller slimes, and then if you kill the slimes, you will sometimes get iridium ore. So that will be the goal. Again, try to get as much iridium ore as we can. I think I have 3 bars worth, so we need 2 more bars in order to fix the boat to Ginger Island. So today we're going to try to get to floor 25 of the Skull Cavern. We have a ton of stuff here. Got a bunch of battery packs from the storm yesterday, so that's good. Goat cheese. No, 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 no. Per usual, fuzzy pickles. And once you go into the Skull Cavern, you will get a quest from Mr. Key asking you to go down 25 levels. And then later, if you do get to, I believe, Ginger Island, you'll find a secret room there that Mr. Key has. And one of the quests he will give you is to get to floor 100 in the Skull Cavern, which is pretty tough to do unless you use staircases. I've done it 1 time. Alright, so we're at the museum here because we have 1 more item to donate. We are getting closer and closer to our 60 items. I'm not exactly sure what we're at. I think I'm around like 55 or 56. We do have a book too. So I mentioned we need some void mayonnaise, and that is because there's going to be a goblin coming up if we do ever get to the sewers. They'll be blocking our path to the witch's house, and in order to get past it, you have to give it void mayo. And so this is the book that tells you about that and kind of how to do it. So we're still looking for that whenever we go to the traveling merchant. There are other ways to get it as well, so we'll see if we ever end up getting it. We first got to get to the sewers, which means we need a few more artifacts to donate to the museum. The goblins, they're not necessarily bad. They just often are in the employment of not the greatest people. Somewhat sketchy people. And they are very good at blocking your way. So that's why we're going to need that void mayo. So we just have 1 item to donate. And we already did so. So we'll walk over and check it out. And then it'll be back to the Skull Cavern to do another run. This one's going to be a lot quicker because we're just going to use staircases. No, not the obsidian. We're not playing Minecraft here. The prehistoric hand axe. A crude tool, striking one rock with another to form a sharp edge. Minecraft indeed. Alright, so let's head in. This time we are just going to use staircases to get to floor 25. So put down a staircase and head down. So this is thrilling gameplay, I know. But the nice thing is we don't have to worry about enemies. There are the iridium slimes. Now, unfortunately, sometimes you're not going to be able to put it down because of the little rock things in the floor. So you'll notice that as you get deeper, you're starting to see some different enemies. Oh, man. So we have some iridium slimes, single ones. There were some mummy enemies that you can only destroy with bombs, and then there are ghosts as well. And then as you get deeper and deeper into the caves, you'll start seeing dinosaurs eventually. And some of them actually breathe fire. It's pretty crazy. A couple more floors here to go. And then we will be done. There's one of the holes. Oh man. Ow. Look how much damage that thing did. Alright, so we got to floor 25. That's what we were trying to do. So I'm gonna head around here, see if we can find anything. Oh my goodness, we found a prism slime. Well, that's pretty lucky. Like I said, I have never seen one of those. Prismatic jelly, awesome. I think they only spawn during this quest line. Again, they're pretty rare. I have found them in the regular mines before when doing that quest. I think we were on like the last day or two of the quest, so that's pretty awesome that we found it. We'll have to head over and see the wizard in order to cash that in. And the next time we'll have to get our lucky ticket again, or our prize ticket. And then see if we can maybe start another quest from the bulletin board. Well, not the bulletin board, but the town board. And maybe we can find a hole too, so I can show that off before I head out of here. Because it's getting pretty late. Alright, there we go. We found a hole. So these can drop you anywhere from, I believe, 3 to like 15 floors at once. You will take damage, but it's worthwhile if you're trying to get as deep as you can. So we fell 7 floors. Not bad. So anyway, I will grab this gold ore, and then I will finish up here and then head back home, and I will meet you back there once I do. And we will call it an episode. Unless there's anything else going on over here. Doesn't look like it. So I'll see y'all back at home. Alright, so before we head home, let's talk to the wizard. We're going to cash in our prismatic jelly here. He is very excited to get that. We don't want to know what he's going to do with it. His important work that he doesn't want anyone around for. Yeah, you go do that, buddy. I'm going to head home, and I'm going to get a night's sleep. So I'm ready for the Skull Cavern tomorrow. And he gives you a good 5,000 gold. Not bad. We'll take it. Add it to our coffers. So that is it for this particular episode. We're going to continue going through the Skull Cavern. See if we can get some iridium ore. And we'll continue doing that in my next episode. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all next time as we actually unlock the Crystallarium. Awesome. Now we can start getting a lot of diamonds. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.